Hi everyone, welcome to this episode of Bliss and Blister. Today we have a wonderful couple, Frankie and Swee Pei, with us. So hi Frankie, Swee Pei.
Hello.
So happy to have you with us today.
Thank you.
Could you share with us a little bit about how you met, got married, and start on your parenting journey?
Oh, that's a long story. I attended ecclesia ministry as a youth, but my parents, they are not Christians, so they are actually quite uncomfortable with me going to ecclesia ministry at 41A. So I make a pact with them, and I went to so-called a proper church, and that's where I met my wife, Swee Pei. We got married, and then after that we have our number one. And along the way, we wanted to have more kids. So after a long 5 years gap, right, the second one came, the third one, followed by the fourth one over the next 5 years.
Could you just share with us, how did you find out about your youngest child's condition, and how did you handle it at that time?
So when we first just saw the cardiologist, he straight away said he suspects Luther to have Williams syndrome, which we never heard of before. And we didn't believe him, but the blood test confirmed it. There was heart problems, kidney issues to be concerned of, thyroid and calcium levels, and physically also he was underweight and everything.
Initially, it was pretty tough to accept the fact that Luther is actually special. And then at a certain point, self-blame kicked in. You know, I began to question myself, is it something that we have done wrong? Or is it the past sins? Or is it because we're aging, that's why we couldn't have a normal child? Questions like, will Luther be able to have his own family next time? And what's going to happen to him when we're no longer around? There are also instances whereby we get stares from strangers, and sometimes we even have people coming up to us and asking, your child not normal, is it? So I can recall those earlier visits that we have to the therapies or checkup at KKH. They were really painful, draining, and also very hurtful. After every session, we usually get the bad news. You know, the doctors or the therapists will just tell us that, oh, Luther is very weak in this, he's very weak in that. We left the place very broken.
After each session, either Luther or myself will have a meltdown, breakdown during the day. It's like, you know, he'll be easily irritable, and I'll be easily short-fused, and the whole family's mood will be just very dark and negative.
At that point, I just feel that it seems like there's no future for Luther, and we're so emotionally drained on our way back home.
The early years, because he couldn't verbalize his feelings that much, he would express himself by shouting, snatching, biting. I'm sure a lot of Harvest Kids parents suffered, you know, their kids. Sorry about that. But we're thankful the teachers really helped us to journey that situation, and we thought it would never end, but it actually did. We just raised him according to his pace, each of them according to their pace, and that's how we've been coping.
And throughout all these years, I have learned to be humble myself and have accepted and learned that Luther is truly a gift from God. No matter what the world says about him, no matter what people will discredit him and label him as handicapped, you know, as parents, we should always stay firm to be with him, to protect him the best as we could. So honestly, if you ask the both of us, we don't feel that Luther is any different from the rest of his siblings, just that he's very cheeky and passionate at times. He can get so friendly with strangers, till I comment that he's actually the most normal kid that we have, and the other three that we have are actually more special than him.
So Frankie and Swee Pei, what is your future? What is the future that you see for Luther and for your three other children? In fact, is there any advice that you would wish to impart to them?
Actually, I don't think we have a big plan, but it's just our own personal desire that the children will grow up being closely knitted. Most importantly, they must enjoy a happy childhood. And for Luther especially, that he will not face those health threats that he's supposed to have. And most importantly for them, they must be able to love God and love people around them.
to have that principle of loving God and loving people, we decided to actually homeschool our kids. We are getting to homeschool them the way we want to. It hasn't been easy, in fact it's daunting, and we do go through the highs and lows, but we are thankful that we have the opportunity to do it our way, and the close-knitted ideal is happening. We do believe that it's good for the long run, and they will remember it for the long run.
What would you say to the parents out there who face a similar issue as you? How would you encourage them?
Okay, I think most importantly, we should not dwell too much in the negativities that the world may portray about your child. Enjoy growing with your child and take things one step at a time.
And also remember that, when no one else understands you, your own situation, God does, and you can always lean on Him. Yeah, He will never fail.
Thank you so much for your sharing with us today. And truly, I've been very, very touched, even hearing your story again. So I hope that you have all enjoyed our sharing in this episode of Bliss and Blister.